What's up, YouTube? How y'all doing? So, Dwight Howard asked Shaq to walk him down for his Hall of Fame introduction, and Shaq agreed. But Dennis Rodman and Hakeem Olajuwon was also asked. This is a big thing because the Shaq Dwight Howard feud that seemed to be going on forever seemed to be pretty one-sided. And Shaq is pretty petty, but I think one of the things two things I did exist where I understood was Shaq. He wanted Dwight Howard to be great. He said play your A game, bring your best. And I got what Shaq was going on. I didn't think that he was necessarily just trying to mess with him to be messing with him. I think he really sincerely wanted him to be a better player. And I think a lot of times Dwight kind of squandered some of that. He was a great defensive player and he had some moments, but we never got him unleashed. He never worked on offensive shot. And that's the only thing that really hurt his game because defensively he was bad and he had a strong physique. He helped lead Orlando to the finals. They lost to the Lakers, where he ended up becoming a teammate with Kobe Bryant a couple years later. But Kobe was upset with him. Kobe said, I had a newfound respect for Shaq after playing with Dwight because he always said just a matter of getting it together. And Dwight was in shape, he just didn't have the ethic. So that worked against him. He did win a championship. Eventually, he came back to LA, bubble year, teaming up with LeBron James, Anthony Davis. Frank Vogel was the coach, and Rondo and all that. But Um, one of those guys who's a Hall of Famer who should have been considered a top 75 player, who was in the run of MVP for a few years, but their feud was pretty intense. Shaq always took digs at him. I don't think everything Shaq said was wrong. I think the White didn't necessarily play up to his potential, and I understand where Shaq was frustrated. Because when you see a guy who has the potential to dominate, you don't want to see him kind of just going through the motions and playing at it. And he was calling himself Superman and all this. And it seemed like a lot of the antics. You can say what you want to say about Shaq. Shaq was camping out in the final. Shaq was dominating. You had to deal with him. And I think that's what he was trying to tell Dwight. But he meant well. Cats be taking stuff too personal, get sensitive. Step your game up. You got potential to be a great, great player. Because I thought Dwight Howard could have been like a David Robinson 2.0 for his generation. If he ever learned a post move, any kind of move where he could score with a baby hook or something, he could have added about 5 or 6 points more to his repertoire. Then we'd be having a different discussion about where he ranks all time. But needless to say, and say the needless, seems like they didn't put their difference aside. Shaq said he'd be honored to welcome the two first round draft pick centers of the Orlando Magic. So there were some similarities, but there was glaring differences with what they did. But bottom line is the Hall of Famers, it's respect, and it's something you can't take away. So it's good to see that, Dwight Howard asked Shaq to welcome him introduce him, and that they called a truce, and it's all good. Because they don't need to be fighting at this stage. It's too long in the tooth, and cats don't need to be petty forever. We done lost too much and been through too much to keep seeing this going on. So anyway, this is a good thing. So I was glad to hear this news. And congratulations to White. He wants Hakeem Olajuwon and Dennis Rodman also to put him into his Hall of Fame where he belongs. So much respect. But the big news is that him and Shaq, they broke the ice, broke a cool, and Shaq is going to help introduce him to the Hall. So much respect. Please like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands. Keep your mind clear. Watch out for another. Share it if you like and hit that membership. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. And I didn't always agree with everything what Shaq was going on with him, but I understood where Shaq was coming from. Because this is a dude who should have been in a discussion, because he still talks to this day. He says he's the last dude that could stop Jokic. So he left some on the table. No one will touch him right now in the NBA, but he's done quite well for himself, to say the least. So he's a Hall of Famer, and he definitely deserves the respect. I'm glad him and Shaq done put it behind him. And I understand when a cat is just saying step your game up. I don't think Shaq meant anything in terms of the guy playing at a better level. Most of the time Shaq was talking about on the court, get your thing together because you better than what you accept. And that's a fact. If you don't tell somebody that, then who else is? So that's where I stand with that. Every form of criticism ain't saying that you suck. It just needs you need to step your game up. All right, I'm out. Peace.